Now, look at another business file. This file lists different ways of making requests. They range from very direct to very polite. And remember that voice tone is extremely important in making requests. I need some change. I'm all out of change. You don't have $1, do you? Have you got $1 by any chance? Could I borrow $1? You couldn't lend me $1, could you? Do you think you could lend me $10? I wonder if you could lend me $10. Would you mind lending me $20? If you could lend me $5, I'd be very grateful. Could you possibly lend me your laptop for a couple of days? Do you think you could possibly lend me your car tomorrow? I wonder if you could possibly lend me your station wagon. I hope you don't mind my asking, but I wonder if it might be possible for you to lend me your car. Notice those last two, I wonder if, and I hope you don't mind. They are very polite. You may want to practice the material in this file several times so you become very familiar with the request variations in it. Now, here's an interesting role play. Treat me, I will be your partner, as if you don't know me well. Ask me to lend you things. Practice aloud, as always. Here's an example. A quarter. You. Would you mind lending me a quarter? Or, would you mind lending me a quarter for the phone? Or, would you mind lending me a quarter? I need to use the phone. Or, one more, would you mind lending me a quarter? I haven't any change. And my response, sure. Or, sorry, I don't have one. All right, here we go. Look at the prompts on the screen. Remember, as you saw in our business file, there are many possible request forms, so yours may differ from mine. A quarter. Do you have a quarter? $1. You don't happen to have $1. $150. I wonder if you could possibly lend me $150. A pen. Could you lend me a pen? A wristwatch. May I borrow a wristwatch? A laptop. Do you think I could borrow a laptop? A dictionary. I wonder, could you lend me a dictionary? A cellular phone. I wonder, could I borrow a cellular phone? Your department's photocopier. Do you think I could borrow your department's photocopier? A calculator. Do you think you could possibly lend me a calculator? Great. That was a good job. More practice. Now you must ask your coworker to do a few things. You will see the prompt on the screen. Try some variations. Here's an example. Open the window halfway. Would you please open the window halfway? Now, let's go on and do the exercise. Open the window halfway. Would you please open the window halfway? Open it all the way. Would you please open it all the way? Open the door. Could you open the door, please? Close it. Could you close it, please? Move your chair slightly. Would you mind moving your chair slightly? Move it farther away. Would you mind moving it farther away? Explain the word cyborg. I wonder if you would explain the word cyborg. That was a great job. And incidentally, a cyborg, in case you wanted to know, is a combination human being and machine. Here, let's review positive and negative responses to requests. Now, here's a request. Would you please sit in that other chair? And here is a list of negative responses. May I ask why is usually followed by I'd rather not, or I can't. And then, I'm sorry, I'd rather not. Or, I'm sorry, I can't. And more bluntly, no, or no, I'm sorry. Here is a list of positive responses. They're very simple. All right. Sure, no problem. Certainly. Of course. All right. You will now hear requests from me, and you must imagine that you don't know me very well. If you think my request is polite enough, agree to it, or you may refuse. But be creative, and you may ask for explanations. Here's an example. Would you please sit in that other chair? You may respond, I'm comfortable here. May I ask why? Or, may I ask why? I'd rather not. Or, I'm sorry, I'm not able to do that. Or, I'm sorry, I'd rather not. But if you wanted to be very positive, you could say, okay, or all right, sure, no problem. Now, let's try this practice. 1. Would you please sit in that other chair? I'm comfortable here. May I ask why? Or, surely. 2. Could you help me move this file cabinet, please? I'm sorry, I'm not able to do that. Or, all right, sure. 3. Would you mind moving your briefcase? Is it a problem? I'd rather not. Or, of course. 4. Would you do me a favor and hand me that stapler? I'm sorry, it's out of my reach. Or, yes, certainly, here it is. In this practice, you want people to do various things for you. They are acquaintances, but not friends. Ask them to do things according to each situation. Be creative. Use your imagination. Here's an example. You want a soda, but you have no change. You might say, I'm sorry, could you give me some change for this $1? I'd like to get a soda. Or a shorter version. Pardon me, do you have change for $1? Or, can you give me change for $1? I want to get a soda. Fine. Now you try it. Remember, your responses may differ from mine, and that's okay. You want a soda, but you have no change. I'm sorry. Could you give me some change for this $1? I'd like to get a soda. 2. You want a glass of wine, but you can't get to the bar. Would you please bring me a glass of wine from the bar? 3. You need a postage stamp for a letter, but you haven't brought any money to the post office. Do you think you could possibly lend me some change for a stamp? 4. You want a copy of the New York Times, but you haven't time to leave the office. Would you mind picking up a copy of the New York Times at the newsstand? 5. You are reformatting a large document on the PC, and you need help to finish by the deadline. I wonder if you could help me reformat this document. I'm behind schedule. 6. You want to sit down in your boss's office, but there are books and papers on all the chairs. Could you tell me where you want me to sit? 7. You want a couple of theater tickets, and you know that your supervisor's wife works at the theater. I wonder if you could ask your wife to reserve a couple of tickets for me. 8. You want to read, but someone is blocking your light. Do you think you could move to your left a little? You're blocking my light. And 9. You want your coworker to sit next to you in the cafeteria, but someone else is sitting there. Do you mind moving to the next seat? My friend and I would like to sit together. That's a good job and a tough exercise.